Welcome to All the Gear But No Idea, the South Australian fishing podcast hosted by Rody and Diz. The boys will share their tall tales of the one that got away, as well as some regular segments they know all you fishing tragics will enjoy.
G'day guys and welcome to episode 96 of All the Gear But No Idea. Rody's had some technical issues, but we're here. Rody, great to be here, mate.
Diz, if we do have any tech gurus listening out there that want to jump on board and produce this puppy, we battled tonight, didn't we? Get the computer lined up.
Mate, it's called a new laptop, seriously.
If any Apple representatives want to flick us out a new one, we could do with it.
Absolutely. Rody, let's not get sidetracked, mate. We've got a huge episode today. We have an absolute amazing guest, a big name in the cricket world. Of course, we have Alex Carey, the Australian Test Wicketkeeper, on the show with us. Rody.
Diz, it's been one we've been looking to get for a while, it's fair to say, and the stars aligned, and we chatted to him recently, a couple of weeks ago, when he was in India for the World Cup.
Yes, yeah, he's a fellow South Australian, a wonderful cricketer like we all know, but as some of you may or may not know, he is also a really handy fisherman, and he's we won't give too much away, but he's been waiting for a new boat, and the new boat's rocked up. He's about to do an absolute summer's worth of fishing whenever he can, because it's not the greatest time for cricketers to fish, is it?
Yeah, it's not like the Pakistan Test starts in like 3 days or anything.
He'll get out there and get amongst it and, all that sort of stuff. But we'll have a chat with him later on today, Rody. We don't want to give too much away.
We don't, Diz. What do you got? Oranges and lemons?
Oranges and lemons, of course, mate. I'll start with my orange. So weekend, got over to Fleurieu Peninsula, stayed at Mum and Dad's place at Black Point. It was bloody fantastic, mate. It was a great, nice weekend.
What did you do? Did you go fishing in the hurricane, or did you lie on the beach in the hurricane? Or
No,
the weather was horrible.
The weather was absolutely horrible. I'll roll that straight into my lemon, thank you very much.
I've jumped the gun, have I?
Yeah, you have. But it was a nice weekend planned away. Millie's family were going to be over there hiring a place down there, and we thought we'd put the boat in and we'd take them out fishing and all the rest of it. And the weather was just absolutely rubbish, Rody.
Yeah, look, I was back here in Adelaide, and I knew I wasn't missing out on that much. The weather was horrible here.
It certainly was, Rody.
That would be our third weekend in a row that we've had free and planned to do some sort of fishing where the weather hasn't played the game.
Yeah, I'm sick. I'm absolutely sick and tired of planning a weekend away to do some fishing, get outdoors and have some fun. The weather roadblocks us.
Hasn't been good for us, Diz. My lemon was a little dinner catch-up we had last week, Diz. I don't know how...
I think you mean orange.
Oh, sorry, my orange. Did I say lemon?
Yes, you did.
I'm losing it. All this battling with laptops, it's really done my head in. My orange, Diz, was we had a nice little dinner the other night at a local establishment to talk about some early plans for the Port Lincoln tuna comp, Diz, and we talked a big game last year, but we didn't really deliver much.
Yes, no, that's fair to say, but it was great to catch up with James Manor, the man who's going to take us out on his lovely 2400, and we're going to do some damage on the tuna over there. Hopefully
so that's the official launch, Diz. We're going. We're in.
We are in.
We're making it a reality. We talked a lot about it last year, but this is our year. We've met the great man in person.
I think we made a good impression anyway.
Well, hopefully he's listening and he might give us some feedback. But he didn't sort of delete our number when he left, or he didn't tell us to make other plans for March or anything like that.
Yeah, well, we need to go to the editing studio pretty hard if we get a message from him. Otherwise, didn't really like you. Oh dear. Anyway,
so yes, we're doing that, guys. That'll be one to look forward to, and something we will discuss, I'm sure, as the next probably 2 or 3 months go on.
Absolutely, mate. And what was the lemon?
Dizzy, I know we could be jumping the gun here a little bit because it's still sort of early summer, and I know the weather hasn't been great this weekend or the last couple of days, so no one's been out looking for them, but I'm a bit flat. We haven't heard a little whisper of the tuna just yet.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure they're out there. Probably not in abundant numbers, but we're all waiting with eager anticipation. We're ready to get them going.
I thought there was enough talk about them at the boat show, which was about 5 or 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Everyone, well, not everyone, but a number of people we spoke to there seemed to think they weren't too far away and maybe could have been an earlier start of the season. But we have not heard boo out of the tuna yet.
Yes, no, we haven't. That's right, Rhodey. So we'll keep our ears close to the ground on that one. And anybody out there searching far and wide, make sure you give us a bit of the news. Rhodey, what do we got next, mate?
Dizzy, we want to talk about a little event we have planned for January, Diz. What do we got coming up?
Oh, mate.
I know you've been looking forward to this one.
Yes, I certainly have been. It was a lot of talk. If I just take you all the way back to episode 60-something is when I started talking about us reaching the ton. And now the reality is coming to fruition, Rhodey. We are up to episode 96. We're planning out a pretty spectacular 100th episode where we're going to be absolutely sending it from a podcast perspective. Is that fair to say?
Dizzy, yes, we've locked it in. It's going to happen. You've been working hard behind the scenes to put some logistics together. Can you fill us in on what you've organised?
Yep. So, we've got the 21st of January.
Yes, that's Sunday. Is that correct?
Yes, we've got the 21st of January is a Sunday. We've locked it in with the Colonel Light Gardens RSL Club, a fantastic establishment, brilliant outdoor area with a nice little alfresco to get the barbies flying, get a few frosty ones off tap in the RSL and just enjoy a bit of company outside while we celebrate what's been a pretty ordinary career of ours, but we've made it to 100, so that's something we can hang our hat on.
It's probably a win for longevity, really, isn't it? So we've really stuck to our guns.
It really is.
We haven't really, we've never won a podcast award or we get a bit of positive feedback, but, you get that on the big jobs, but we've never sort of, no one's ever given us podcast of the year or anything like that, but we have stuck to it.
Yes, we've stuck to it from what was born out of a couple of beers and a bit of banter on the boat some years ago now to be sitting here and talking about 100th episode is pretty hectic, Rhodey. So glad to have can't say glad to have done the journey with you. You've been pretty annoying at times.
And we're going to invite all the listeners along to that. That's an open invite. Everyone come along.
Absolutely, mate. The more the merrier. There'll be more details to come on the specifics of the day while we sort of iron out the kinks, as it were, of what we are and aren't going to do on the day. But like I said, lovely alfresco area, a bit of food, couple of beers.
Have we put some thoughts into the guest for episode 100? They've got a bit of pressure.
Yeah, they do. They certainly do. Should we just do us?
Should I interview you or?
That might be a good way to not have anybody I'd suggest, Rhodey, but anyway. Righto, Rhodey, we've got the prize winner.
Diz, this is a big prize thanks to Savage Tackle. This was our November surf fishing photo competition, Diz. We got heaps of entries. It was a great prize thanks to Simon from Savage Tackle. Yes. Heaps of people entered. We loved seeing all your photos. Heaps of mulloway, gummies, snapper, salmon, plenty of scenic shots as well, Diz. And I have got the winner here. We did entrust Simon Green from Savage Tackle as a thank you for helping us out with the prize. We got him to pick his favourite photo. Diz, are you going to give us one of your favourite famous drum rolls?
I sure will.
The winner is Matt McGregor.
Matt McGregor, what a great shot that was, Rhodey.
Diz, I've got it in front of me now. It's a scenic shot. It's him in his nice black t-shirt, bucket hat, looking sun safe, and he's holding his rod in the surf, looking over a wave breaking out in front of him.
Yeah.
You'd call it candid, would you?
Yeah, I think you'd call that candid.
I don't know who gets the prize, whether it's Matt McGregor or his photographer mate, someone hiding in the background.
Yeah, who knows? We'll let them fight over that prize because it's epic, mate. Simon was incredibly generous with what he put together for that prize. Spectacular range of his gear and, of course, the usuals else in that prize. So thanks for everybody's entry. Thanks for sending us in your photos. And we sort of press on now to the 100th episode, but you can expect more of that sort of thing out of us next year, can't you, Roddy?
You certainly can, There's plenty more prizes to come, and a big congratulations to Matt McGregor. Make sure you get in contact, or we'll hit you up and we'll get the prize out to you.
Excellent. Love that. Roddy, let's get on to the merch, mate, because, yes, we do have the monthly photo comp like we talked about, so that's always going to be running. But this episode, we do want to spend a bit of time talking about the T-shirts.
We do, Diz. We did some pre-orders just recently. They have closed for pre-orders, but we do have we do have some extras coming along that'll be available at the big 100th episode extravaganza.
Yeah, wow. Okay, extravaganza now. Love it. Yes, there will be some there. We did get some orders, which we're incredibly grateful for. And like you said, Roddy, we'll have a couple of extras there ready for the day. Just those usual sort of sizes, you know. I think we went a couple of larges, maybe an XL, maybe a medium, something like that.
Yeah, Diz, and they're a premium product.
Oh, mate, they are so good. They are great T-shirts. Lovely. We went for the grey number. We feel like that's the great all-rounder.
We did and ah about the grey or the navy, and we ended up going for the grey. You overruled me, I think. But anyway, if you don't like the grey, hit Dizzy up.
Yeah, grey with a small logo on the front side, larger logo on the back. Great for wearing out to the pub. Great for wearing on your sort of midweek dinners. Great for wearing to childcare if you've got kids. Fantastic kit for childcare, actually. Excellent boat T-shirt.
They are, Diz, and you did mention childcare. We've actually bought a little 7, so she's just going to wear one every day of the week, and takes a bit of the stress out of having to dress her in the morning if you don't have to make any decisions.
That's a great call.
So there are obviously kids one available, and get in contact if you want to get one for yourself or for your friends and family, for yourself, whatever it is.
Love it, Roddy. Brilliant. All right, mate. That just about wraps up that segment for us, don't we? Let's get stuck into the news.
Rhodey and Diz have been searching far and wide to bring you the latest news across all fishing in the state, and will give you the rundown on what you need to know.
Got some juicy stories in the news segment for you this week, Rhodey. A couple that we have been following along, couple that we've talked about in previous years. And on that note, let's get stuck in. There's seeds for snapper.
Diz, this is a great project. We have spoken to, I think it was Rachel Weeks who had on the show about this time last year, Diz, and she gave us a really good overview of it. Obviously, this is the time of year when the seeds themselves start to turn up on our Adelaide or South Australian beaches. And the idea is, as we talked about this time last year, go back to, I'll find the episode for you while we're chatting, Diz, but go back to this time last year and have a listen to how it works. But basically, they're encouraging everyone to pick up these little green seeds that grow the seaweed that help the snapper to rejuvenate, which is obviously very topical at the moment, Diz, with the snapper ban, and just one little way the community can get involved in, I suppose, we've all done our whinging about the snapper thing, but this can be how you sort of get involved with making some sort of a difference. Yeah,
absolutely. I was actually down at the beach at Glenelg the other day and saw just a couple, not sometimes when you see them walking along the beach, you'll see them in absolute abundance. There'll be, hundreds, if not thousands of them. But here I just probably plucked one or two. Ned was picking them up and throwing them back in the water. They're pretty cool looking things, and one was actually sort of partially ripped open, and you could actually see the seed inside it, which was pretty cool. So we did talk about this episode, Rhodey, and it is all got to do with basically getting those seeds going sort of in a controlled environment, if you like, and then being able to take them out to help establish some of that grassy seabed that's so important to those juvenile snapper.
That's right, Diz, and there was an open day, I think maybe last weekend, where they sort of launched the process. So what you need to do if you want to get involved, Google it. It's an Ozfish operation. You need to register yourself as a volunteer to start collecting them. As we said, Ozfish is a big part of it. BCF's involved, Diz. I think they're a sponsor, as are Green Adelaide. And the partners in this project include SARDI, Recfish SA, the Cruising Yacht Club of SA, and the Estuary Care Foundation and Aquatic Biosecurity. So, Diz, I think the Cruising Yacht Club of SA is the centerpiece of it. I think there's others locally and at the Fleurieu that you can drop these seeds off to. And you can get as involved as you like to. You can pick up the seeds, keep them wet in a bucket of seawater, and then drop them off. If you want to, you can get involved. I think they sew them into sandbags. Was that right from last year,
Yes. Yeah.
And then they use divers to put them in. So you can get as heavily involved in this project as you want to. But as we said, jump on the Ozfish SA page, find the seeds for Snapper Link, and register as a volunteer if that's something you're into.
Love it, Brody. Excellent. Nice little, like you say, nice little way to get involved. Brody, this one's caused a bit of a stir on the socials, mate. New speed limits for beach vehicle operations.
Yeah, Diz, obviously this is pretty important to those beach fishos in particular, or everyone that entered the Savage Tackle competition would be well aware of this. And I'm just reading this now off the Department for Infrastructure and Transport press release. So this was 30th of November 2023, and it says from tomorrow, drivers must adhere to the new default speed limit of 40 kilometres per hour on beaches, which is further reduced when you're within 50 metres of a person, and then it drops down to 25 kilometres an hour. And this is unless otherwise signposted, Diz.
Yeah, which you'd say is going to be 99.9% of beaches.
Yeah, and the fine is up to $5,000 plus demerit points. And the reduction of the default maximum speed limit was from 100 kilometres previously, Diz. So it's a big drop.
Yeah. Have I got a problem with driving 25 kilometres while you're passing people closely? Definitely not.
Yeah, I think the first kilometre of Goole Beach, go for it. 25 is perfect.
Yeah. I got no problems with sensible driving.
Does 40 seem a bit stiff when you're on the Eyre Peninsula or Salt Creek and you need to go a bit faster than that to keep moving sometimes?
Well, sometimes, and also I suppose the other thing is you might be the only car on the beach for miles, and I just don't know that I think 40 doesn't quite strike the right balance for me.
I think 100 is a lot.
Yeah.
I think 40 is not enough.
100 on the beach is unsafe.
You'd think, I'm pulling numbers out of my head, but somewhere between 60 and 80 would be...
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with 60.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't have a problem with 60 at all.
It does say here, existing...
This would be divisive.
Yeah, existing 10 kilometre an hour speed limits for Moana, Aldinga and Selleck beaches will remain.
Yeah, which they're signposted, which is fine because there's thousands of people down there. So none of that, no one can have a problem with that. Righto, let's move on, Roddy. O'Sully's beach boat ramp now open. Great news.
Diz, I don't know, you're the local down there working at Christie's Beach. What have you heard? It opened, I think, 2 weekends ago now. They had a bit of an event.
Yeah.
And it's up in operation. I don't know what you've heard about how it's operating, how it's all going.
Haven't heard a lot, mate, but I've seen a heck of a lot more boats down that way. So, if you're driving along the Esplanade or down Beach Road, or you might be coming off the expressway and then turning right onto Dyson Road, there's boats everywhere now.
Well, that's good to see, Diz. And I know this one did stick to its timeline. It was open very early December. And certainly in the last 6 months, we've had a lot of questions posed to us.
Yep.
It opened on Saturday, the 2nd of December. I think all the way along they were talking up a December opening, and they got in at the very start of December. I think that's really good to see that the timeline's been stuck to, particularly when we know what's happening at West Beach over summer. I know we talked about that in the last podcast, that there is limited access around that sailing event, but O'Sullivan's Beach is open in a very timely manner, which is good to see, Diz.
It's great. Like you say, there was a few topical issues that were discussed, which really did put the heat on O'Sully's to be open.
Yeah.
We're glad it's opened. It's another accessible ramp, and now obviously newly improved for anybody sort of fishing that metro coastline. So that's really great news, Roddy. And let's just move on now, mate, because we've got the Copper Coast ramp ticketing options, which is another bit of a ramp story for the listeners out there. Roddy, tell us what we can expect down that way.
Look, it's really the thing to talk about at the moment is ramps and infrastructure. It feels like we've moved on from like your snapper and your boat license and some of these things that come up. It's now infrastructure we're talking about. And this one is a parking ticket update for the Port Hughes and Wallaroo boat ramps. This was off the Copper Coast Council Facebook pages. I think initially it was only going to be done via the app. Is that right?
I think so. I think that was the plan. But
and that is still an option, the Easy Park app. But they've also talked about now you can purchase annual and daily tickets at the Kadina Council office at 51 Taylor Street, or you can purchase daily tickets at the Port Hughes General Store.
So the Port Hughes General Store opening hours are elite.
Yeah, they're good.
I don't know about the Kadina Council office.
I don't think they're going to be open at 6 a.m. on a Saturday morning when you're launching at Wallaroo. And I think if you read through the Facebook comments, which is a bit of a dangerous place to tread sometimes, that was where a lot of the negativity came about.
I think my view on it is if you read the post, they're basically saying that's not a bad spot to go and buy your annual pass, because it says purchase annual and daily tickets, and then it says purchase daily tickets at the Port Hughes General Store.
But there is going to be your older fellas that go down, launch their boat once a week, early in the morning. They might not have a smartphone. They might not be that good with technology.
Yep.
And does that work for them? I'm not sure it does.
No, I don't like this idea that we only have one system. Like, I don't mind if we transition to that one system, give people some time to work it out, plenty of notice, so on and so forth. But just flicking one off and turning on some sort of app, that's not good enough for me.
It's a bit like when you go to the footy and there's no cash allowed.
Yeah.
It's where the community's going, realistically. But look, I agree. It's probably not ideal for everyone.
Brody, good little news segment there for us. Some juicy stories, like I said, some we've been following for quite some time, which have sort of probably come to a bit of an end, really, in the O'Sully's boat ramp and so on and so forth. And nice to revisit the seas for snapper. Let's move on now, Rody, because we've got a tackle item of the week.
Now it's time for Rody and Diz to really show you what it means to have all the gear with a lot of idea as they review a tackle item of the week.
Righto, Rody, we've spent a bit of time this episode talking about how this weather is just really bad. And I think when you have bad weather weekends like this where you really can't do much except for sort of stay indoors and spend a bit of time with the friends and family indoors or whack on a good movie or whatever else. One thing that we love to do is certainly start to just look at the gear, have a bit of a look at it, check it out. You might want to do a bit of an upgrade on it. You might do a bit of scrolling online. You might start getting your lures ready.
And Diz, what do you do with your lures once you've got them ready?
Well, once you've got your lures ready, you go down and you get yourself, if you haven't already, you get yourself a Shimano Game Lure Wrap.
Diz, they're really good, aren't they?
They are elite, mate. They're elite. They're 30-something bucks. They're a great price point. They are fantastic quality gear to be able to put all of your skirts, stick baits, trolling lures and everything else into. They're washable, mate, and I love that.
That helps, doesn't it, Diz? Because, when you leave your gear out on the deck or whatever, when you're trolling around, you get a fish overboard, there's saltwater going everywhere. Certainly makes it easier for that washable feature. And Diz, I think there's less tangles on these new sort of wrap style of lure storage as opposed to the old containers that everyone used to use.
Yeah, so I completely agree. So they're Velcro, they're like 6 large Velcro compartments.
Yeah.
That you can pretty comfortably fit at least a couple of lures in.
Yeah, so you might put like 2 skirts in or keep them sort of similar varieties of lures so you know what you're looking for.
Yeah, and because it's that clear, it's that clear sort of sleeve, if you like, that is just, you can see exactly what you're looking for. You know which one you're getting. You rip it open and you get stuck in, because sometimes they might not be taking your favourite lure and you need to just change it up and swap them out with something else, and you want to be able to get to your gear quickly, like you say. So these game lure wraps, Rody, are spectacular. Shimano do the lovely. They've got their new range out now, that sort of grey looking gear, which is fantastic. So get yourself down to your local tackle store. Grab yourself a Shimano Game Lure Wrap, particularly if you're sitting here eagerly awaiting the arrival of the tuna and want to get your gear ready to rock and roll for the day they they hit our beaches.
Yeah, and am I right, Dizzy? It's got the mesh on one side, like the breathable sort of material.
Yeah, it does.
So that helps with your corrosion and all that sort of stuff, doesn't it? Get a bit of water out of there.
Yeah, it does. That's exactly right. It's got that really nice heavy-duty mesh. It's not that fine stuff that tears easily. It's nice, big, heavy-duty stuff. It's made out of 420D polyester, which is great stuff too, Roddy.
Diz, so that's certainly what we'd recommend. That's what we've got our tuna lures in. And when you're going through, you're making sure there's no signs of rust on your hooks. You're replacing the leader that might have got a bit scuffed last season. You're making sure your gear is ready to go when the local tuna fire. That is what I'd be going to get, and that is how I'd be organising your gear, Diz.
Love it, Roddy. Me too, mate. That's brilliant. Let's move on now and get our guest on the line. Of course, we said Alex Carey. Let's call him.
Now it's time to get our guest on the line. We'll ask them the all-important 5 questions, then chat all things fishing in SA.
Righto, Rody. We are very lucky to be joined by Alex Carey, a keen fisherman. And thank you so much for coming down on the show. You've taken time out of your tour through India. Alex, it's great to have you on the show.
No, thanks, boys. Thanks for having me on. It's it's a nice little distraction to talk fishing over here in India, so I'm looking forward to it.
Beautiful, mate. Well, we're going to get straight into our 5 questions that we ask all our guests. And the first one being, tell us about your best fish.
Yeah, great question to start off with. I think we all like to brag about our best catch, but I reckon for me it would be a kingfish. Went fishing after one of our T20 internationals over in New Zealand. Ooh. And we were lucky. Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity and experience. A little bit lumpy, so the stomach was not loving it. But yeah, to catch a few kingfish over there in a very scenic location off of Auckland was something that I'll never forget. And sharing that moment with a few of the other players was very special.
All right, they don't catch small kingfish over there, so you're going to have to fill us in on the details. How big was it? Jigging? How'd you get it?
I reckon it's not overly large. I would say 15, 20 kilos. So a decent fish, but they do get much bigger. Just had some live baits floating out. Look, the guys over there know the hot spots, and it didn't take too long for us to hook up to a few. So I reckon there was about 6 of us on the boat, and the only bloke not to catch one was Travis Head, my mate from South Australia. So we all loved that he went out there, got seasick, and didn't catch a fish. So
how good. That's on the bucket list for a lot of people. So that makes us very jealous, and no doubt a great day out with some mates too.
No, it was awesome. I've seen you boys have caught a few kingfish as well off South Australia. So that's something that I'm really keen to look into is targeting the kingfish off South Australia.
Yeah, we're going to touch on your new boat in a minute, but once you get that, we'll see you down at Cape Jarvis and we'll get into them.
Done.
Alex, tell us your favourite thing about fishing, mate.
I think for me now, being a dad as well is, and I haven't pushed my son Louis into fishing, but he is dead keen on all the gear. He's got a tackle box now. He's got all the magazines. We fish off the beach down south, and he's really patient, so I'm really surprised with that. But growing up, probably a pretty similar experience to what he's going through is, the old man loved it. I've got an older brother too, so he would always get me out there fishing. And I guess the best thing about it is you're outdoors, you're in normally pretty, good weather, although you do take on some tough weather. You're just outdoors, you feel alive, you're healthy, and you're targeting fish. And it's not all about the catch for me, but I just love getting outdoors in the anticipation of fishing.
Beautiful, mate. I've got 2 things to add on that. You obviously haven't gone on my parenting approach of putting iFish on every morning when Lil gets up at 5:30.
The missus probably has a say with that, so we just we pick out the right time to put the fishing
There's
on.
no gently encouraging fishing in this house. And you said your son's got all the gear. We're going to have to get him a cap if he's that keen.
Yeah, absolutely. I before I left for India, I went and got some tuna lures. I was pretty excited. Went and got some tuna lures, and it's his favourite toy now. So I've just got to be careful with hooks around him, but he just loves playing with them. Now I'm over the phone, and he gets them on FaceTime, and he shows me them all, and yeah, he loves it.
Oh, mate, how special. That's good. Now tell us about your first fishing memory, or what got you into it. Was it family as well?
Yeah, it was. I would say, first memory, I've got lots of great memories from fishing over at Port Hughes and the York Peninsula way. My dad's best mate, we call him Uncle, as you do. He lives over Port Hughes way and would always take us out catching the big snapper over there and the whiting and squid as well. So they were sort of the memories that really stuck with me. Was the road trip over as a youngster, the night before, and then waking up really early and jumping out in the boat. And like I said, I think the anticipation for me is, the one thing is, you don't have to catch much, but to know you're waking up early to go fishing, is what really excites me.
Beautiful, Alex. Now, what is your favourite sort of fishing?
At the moment, I'm loving fishing just off the beach with a young fella, as we spoke about before. That's it's easy. We can sort of pack it up anytime and head home. So that's fun at the moment. But yeah, I love getting out in the boat. I do get seasick at times, so that's always one that going out there, I know that there's the potential to get seasick, but it's never deterred me from going out. So, I love jumping in the boat, and I would say, so the offshore fishing for me.
Excellent, mate. Now, now's your chance to stitch up one of your mates or tell us about a good story. So, funniest fishing story or one that got away?
I reckon, my brother and I, we had a little tinny, and we would just launch it off Seacliff. We had a Toyota Camry to launch it with, so not very beach friendly. And we went out in the afternoon, and the afternoon swell and the winds picked up a bit, and trying to get it back on the trailer and get the Camry out of the sand was pretty difficult. And the waves were crashing on the back of the boat, and the tinny was getting heavier and heavier. And it's fair to say we panicked. And there was a lot of water in the boat. We ended up driving. I had to drive the boat, which was not very trustworthy at the best of times. Down to West Beach as the brother drove the car, and we met at the at the marina, and I made it. So that was probably the scariest. Looking back. Sort of funniest moment, and one, and I reckon we caught a heap of squid that day too. So didn't turn out to be a bad day, but it was a bit sketchy there for a bit.
No, you'll certainly take that if you got the bag of squid. There's nothing wrong with a bit of a hairy moment, and everyone comes home safe.
That's right.
All right, now you've talked about your tinny that you used to have. Now we want to move on to the new boat. Tell us about that. It's not far away, I hear.
No, it's not. It's something that's probably been in the works for a few years now. As you boys probably know, with a wife and kids, you've got to plant the seed early, and eventually you crack them, and you get the go ahead to purchase a boat or something like that. But lucky enough to be able to get a Northbank 600C. From the boys down at Christie's Beach. So that's, a really exciting purchase for me, and something I've looked forward to for a long time. And as I've been away the last few months, we've got a lot closer, and hopefully by the time I'm home, I can duck down there and pick it up and get a little bit of a fish in this summer. So I'm very excited. heard lots of really good reports from the other guys that have got them in Ned McHenry and Paddy Dangerfield over in Victoria's got one as well. So cracking blokes. The boats look amazing. So I'm really excited to get you lads out there.
Yeah, awesome, mate. We'll hold you to that, I reckon. But we've had Harry on the show.
I need your spots. I need your spots is what I need.
Mate, we're called All the Gear but No Idea for a reason.
Well, that's me perfectly.
We've had Harry on the show, of course, the new owner of Northbank, and they are wonderful boats. So, yeah, we're keen to. We've sort of seen a few snippets of what's to come in your boat. It looks like an awesome rig. We can't wait to no doubt see heaps of photos of you out there with the family and whatever over summer. So I bet you're looking forward to that, mate. Bit of a break.
Yeah, really keen. It's probably not a great time to buy a boat during the summer as a cricketer, but
that's right.
I'm keen. Any moment or any chance to get out there, I'll certainly be doing it. And I've basically got to learn how to reverse the trailer in and do all of that as we go as well. So it could be a little bit comical at times, but we'll be right.
Oh, we can get Dizzy down to show you what not to do if you like.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So
don't launch it off Seacliff.
Now tell us, Alex, what are the features that you were a must for you, and why did you love the Northbank boats?
I think firstly just meeting the lads and seeing how down to earth they were, and just having conversations and honest conversations of what you want and what you need, and and what maybe you should avoid as well. But for me, it was something that's going to be safe enough for the family. Something that trustworthy motors. The two-stroke Hickory that we've had in the past, yours haven't quite cut the mustard. So something that we trust in a motor, and we've gone a 175 Mercury, and the boys have really endorsed them. I've got a nice 16-inch Garmin, so that should do the trick with finding some fish, or at least finding the way home. But I think as well, like just something big enough for me, brother, mate, a couple of kids, without being, too hard to store, too hard to tow. We'll start off with the 600 and see how we go. But they've got some really nice hard tops as well, so I might plant the seed on that as well with the missus soon.
You're always looking for the new boat. That's the thing, isn't it?
That's it. No, I think this is the perfect size for family and friends, just to get out when it's a nice day. But if we're a little bit keener to go out when the weather's not so good, then we've still got the safety of a 6 metre boat, something safe enough, and without going into too many details and specs of it all, which I don't really know. The guys I think Aaron Habgood's another one who's got one, and he absolutely hammers his. So if he can hammer it and go out and catch the big barrels, then it should be right down we're in a way.
Yes, I'm sure it will. Now tell us, what's the plans for the new boat? Where are you going to take it? You're going to take the young fella out and test out the tuna lures?
Yeah, that'll be a pretty ideal way to break it in, I reckon, if there's some tuna around in December to get it out there and get it dirty, and just go for I guess the tuna is what sort of excites you when Christmas comes around, so we'll target them. But for me as well, like I said, if it's just anchor up somewhere and let Louis chuck in a squid jig and just have a little play around and go from there. But I think once you get a little bit keener and more confident in it, then I'd love to get a trip over to KI and have a look over that way. And see where we go. But at the moment, it's get it in and out the water safely and try to catch a few fish for dinner.
Awesome, mate. You'll absolutely love it, and we can't wait to see what you get up to. I want to turn your attention now to something you touched on a little bit earlier about your trip catching kingies. Well, catching kingies, except for Hetty not getting any kingies. But tell us about your fishing on tours, mate. You must have had some epic trips away.
Look, we're pretty lucky, or we're very lucky to go to some amazing places around the world. That's probably the best fishing trip we've done is off Auckland there, and there's not a lot of fishing to do off India. There's, England the same. There's probably not much to do. I've chucked a few lures in off the West Indies there. We were in Barbados, but didn't really have too much luck. So yeah, I wish I had better stories for you on tour. Mitch Marsh and I talk a lot about fishing. He's got a boat over there in the west, which I'm looking forward to getting on. And for him and I, it's the anticipation of getting out together and going fishing together one day. So we watch a lot of YouTube videos and probably get our fix that way when we're on tour.
All right, now you've talked about, it sounds like Marshy's the pick of the fisherman and maybe Travis Head is at the other end of the spectrum. Do many of the other boys fish?
Yeah, you nailed it. Mitchy's the one that absolutely loves it. I think he's got quite a nice boat. He'll probably be able to tow mine pretty easily in the work. So, he's the one, mate. He's the one. He loves getting out there. He's Western Australia, so Rottnest Island way, gets up to Coral Bay way, and loves it. So he's the one. And then, I don't reckon a Pat Cummins or a Mitchell Stark would be very good behind a fishing rod. So, but we'll be able to teach Travis Head. That's something we can do.
Love it, mate. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for answering all of our questions. We can't thank you enough for joining us all the way over from India and taking a bit of time out. I hope you've been able to cast your mind to some of those days out on water off our lovely South Australian coastline. And, thank you again, mate, for coming on and having a chat with us.
No, my pleasure. And like I said, I look forward to going fishing with you boys, and then we can jump back on and do another podcast when we've broken the boat in. So it should be a lot of fun.
Beautiful, mate. We can't wait to see the boat, and definitely booking a fish. We can't wait.
Cheers, lads.
Dizzy, it's not every day you get to chat to the Australian Test Wicketkeeper. He's a great man, Alex Carey. He loves his fishing. I know that episode was recorded while he was in India a couple of weeks, and I know that Northbank he was talking about is now in his hot little hands, and he's taken it out just in the last week, Diz.
Yeah, it's a beast of a looking boat, mate. Northbank and the crew down there have been sort of teasing a few photos of it, if you will, on their socials. And, geez, that thing's going to do some damage on the water, I reckon. And like you say, Alex Carey, very generous with his time. Lovely guy. Been talking to him on and off now for quite some time. Just needed to line up the best time for him with his very busy schedule. He's had a lot going on, so it was great to have a chat with him while he was over there in India. And we look forward to catching up with him over summer and checking out his boat, like you say, Rody.
Diz, that's right, mate. And thanks again to Alex for giving up his time and coming on the show.
Rody, let's get into the fishing report, mate.
Rody and Diz have been out on the water to bring you the news about where they're biting. Now it's time for the fishing report.
Righto, Rody, for fishing, it's been too wet and windy, so that just about wraps up the fishing report.
Certainly this weekend it's been horrible. It was all right last weekend, wasn't it?
The weather was great last weekend.
We had a few sort of Christmas shows on.
Yeah. No, the weather was excellent last weekend. You make a good point there, Rody. So Kingfish have been firing.
Yeah, sort of same as we've spoken about. Port Augusta and Point Lowly is probably the number 1 and 2 hotspots for that, Diz?
Yeah, I think so. Somewhere over that way. I never really know where they're getting them, do we? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's what
Spot X, isn't it?
Yeah, anyway. Rody, want to fish. Tice has been doing the damage, mate. He's been catching plenty of gummies. Some real good morwong off some of his recent trips, actually, Rody.
Yeah, one of those days he got 5 or 6 good sized ones.
Too, yeah.
And lots of good snapper. So
good snapper.
I suppose that's the advantage of going out with a charter date, Diz, because they're allowed to cross out of the snapper zone, fish south of KI down that way, get the snapper and then bring them back to Arena, which you can't do in your recreational boats.
No, that's right. Yeah, so it is like you say, a real advantage and a very good reason to get out there because, geez, some of those people would be filling up their freezer with some fresh fish leading into Christmas. That's for sure.
Diz, what else is biting?
Righty, so you sort of teased it, mate. The snapper off Victor, they seem to be fishing quite well. So clearly the charter operators do well on them. They're the ones, like you say, tend to sort of cross into that zone, get a good feed for their guests on board and then take them back. But I've seen some good fish. Caught.
And Diz, I was going to say, I've seen a few pictures of Victor Harbour down at the boat ramp of snapper and crayfish. So they've sort of started to fire up as the weather warms up a bit, Diz. And down in the southeast as well, been some good hauls of crayfish, Diz, out of the pots. I'm not sure there's been as much diving that I've heard about, but maybe just waiting for the weather to play the game a bit more on that side of things.
Good feed of crays for Christmas, never goes astray, I suppose.
Yeah, look, I'll be keeping my eye on the forecast and wouldn't mind getting down and getting a few.
Very good. Rody, I just wanted the men's fourth. He's been over there doing some damage on KI, hasn't he?
Brett's staying over there at just near Stokes Bay in the same house that we've stayed at a couple of times, which is good to see, Diz. And that photo he took, I did ask him, that was from Snelling's. The aerial drone shot of the school of salmon, and that was a ripping photo, Diz.
It was amazing.
Seal and a shark in it as well.
It was, Rody. It was amazing. It was a spectacular photo. It's a very big school of salmon, like you say. So he's been doing well on the Marin. He's got himself a nice couple of brim on some soft plastics. We've seen whiting. He seems to be having a great time over there. So that just about rounds out our fishing report to cover off a few little hotspots and some tips across the state. But like we said earlier, we'll be keeping our ears close to the ground about when these tuna are rocking up. And I think in the meantime, everybody will be dusting off their gear and getting ready to rock and roll.
All right, Diz, that's been a great episode. Thanks again to all of our guests every week, but Alex Carey in particular this week. Diz, thanks to Simon from Savage Tackle for supporting the November photo competition. Congratulations again to Matt McGregor for winning the prize, Diz.
Yeah, it was a great photo, Rody. So congratulations and an equally great prize pack put together by a great supporter of the show, Simon from Savage Tackle, Rody.
And Diz, as we said before, make sure you clear January 21st of all events on the calendar. That is the 100th episode, spectacular, down at the Kernelite Gardens RSL. We'll be sitting on the lawn. We'll have a little trestle table, a few cold beverages, T-shirts for sale.
Yeah, love it, mate.
Hot barbecue.
Let's just make sure these nervous 90s don't get the better of us. We need to get there just yet.
Oh, you reckon we could have a blow-up between 96 and 100?
Who knows?
All right, Diz, make sure you tag us in all your fishing photos on Facebook and Instagram as the weather warms up. Give us a like or a follow or whatever you do on Spotify, Apple Music, etc., etc. And thanks again for listening, guys.
No, thanks for listening, guys. Speak to you soon.
Rody and Diz hope you enjoyed today's episode of All the Gear But No Idea. Keep up to date by liking and sharing us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can subscribe on all the major podcast platforms. Until next time, good luck fishing.